We were born before the wind, also younger than the sun. Yeah, the bonnie boat was one as we sailed into the misty. Hark now, hear the sailors cry, smell the sea and feel the sky. Let your soul and spirit fly into the misty. When that foghorn blows, you know I'll be coming home. When that foghorn whistle blows, I got to hear it. Don't have to fear it. And I want to rock your gypsy soul, just like way back in the days of old. Magnificently, we will float into the misty. Come on. When that foghorn blows, you know I'll be coming home. And when that foghorn whistle blows, I got to hear it. Don't have to fear it. And I want to rock your gypsy soul, just like way back in the days of old. Yeah, together we will flow into the misty. Come on now. Ooh, too late to stop now.
Please pray with me. Recognizing that there is one power, a divine presence that is in and through every living thing. It is in the smiles and the laughter of the children that are with us today. It is in the eyes that I gaze upon. That divine essence lives in the change in the seasons as the greens start to peek out from their time, their hibernation. As the trees are budding and the leaves are ready for their outstretched existence and touching the light. For that divine is in everything. It is in me, and it is in each and every one of us. So in this space of connection, I absolutely know that our time together is perfect. That everyone that has come together to make this service a blessing has done so in a space of love and joy and connection. I give great thanks for that time that we have together. I give great thanks for Reverend Jen where she is today. And as Bridget brings in that wonderful time of play and that togetherness that we experience, for it is all a blessing, for we are each blessed. I just breathe into this time knowing that it is perfect, and wherever people are gathered, whether it be in church, mosque, synagogue, or at home, nestled with their pets, it is all good. So knowing that this time is a blessing and we are blessed together, I know that it is perfect, and our time together is now to begin. I affirm this as true by saying in one voice, and so it is. So our first words of inspiration comes from Amy Lee McCree. Happiness is a collection of joyful experiences shared with soul friends. Get together and have some fun. And from Ralph Waldo Emerson. It is a happy talent to know how to play. And from our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes. The great love which I feel now for the world is the love of God, and it is felt by all and comes back to me from all. I understand all people, and this understanding is reflected back to me from all. I give friendship, and therefore I have friends. I help, therefore I am helped. I uplift, therefore I am uplifted. I am now surrounded by all love, all friendship, all companionship, all health, all happiness, all success. I am one with life. I wait in silence while the Great Spirit bears this message to the whole world.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you, thank you. So our topic today is So Happy Together, which is a continuation of the theme that we've had this whole month of play. So I get to talk about playing together, building community, and just that, being happy together. But I want to start, the reason I think this is an important topic of play and building that community through play is, today in our world, and I say today, but maybe humans have always thought this, that in their time, and I know we think it in our time, that there's a lot of divisiveness, whether it be political or in society, we have a war now that's impacting so many people, either directly or indirectly. Hopefully, I'm on the tail end of a pandemic, and can be a lot of stresses in life, right? And as adults, you kids in the audience don't know what I'm about to say, but the adults do. We get encouraged not to play, to be serious, and don't play so much, work hard and stuff. But I'm one of those people who I still sometimes skip when I go for a walk, or I'll do little twirls in the middle of the street, and I don't care if people see me. I see a play set, I'm going to get on that swing. I still love to swing. And play is such a great way to deal with stress. It's a lovely way to deal with stress. And it's also a spiritual practice. And that's why we're talking about play in context of a spiritual community, because it is a spiritual practice. It's not just a stress relief, but play can bring us in tune again with our true nature. And actually, in this teaching, we teach that all of creation is the body of God, that all of creation is created from the only thing there is, which is the essence of God. So if that's true, I sometimes like to remind myself that God's not having a good time today unless I'm having a good time, or unless you're having a good time, right? So we're going to talk about 3 aspects of divine play, if you will, or being so happy together. But the first is just that play is divine. And then we'll talk about, play together, stay together. And then the last, so happy together in community. But starting with that idea that play is divine, so being a ministerial student, one of the best parts is we get to study other religions. And I want to share with you one of the most fascinating things I think I've learned from other religions in these last 3 years. There are many, but one that really sticks with me is in the Hindu tradition, they have the Kalpa system, K-A-L-P-A, in case any of you want to go look it up when you get home today. But what that is they, and these are ancient Hindu mystics, started teaching that one day in the life of God, or they would say Brahman, the Godhead, is 4.3 billion years. And that all of creation is like a baby God playing. Like all of creation is like Brahman, or the Godhead, playing. I like to think it was like a Lego set or something, right? But all of creation is God playing, just having a good time, saying, what can I do next? What are the possibilities? And the most fascinating part about this is they teach that God plays for one day, which remembers 4.3 billion years. And guess how old the Earth is? Really close to 4.3. I think scientists have pegged it as 4.6 or 4.7. So aside from this wonderful idea that all of creation is God playing, how these ancient Hindu mystics knew that the earth was about 4.3 billion years old just fascinates me. So we get two things out of that: play, and there are other ways of knowing things besides science. That's just a bonus for today, that little tidbit, little scientific bonus. So this idea that all of creation is God playing got me thinking, like, especially living here in Colorado where we have these gorgeous mountains and I love to spend lots of time outdoors. I'm like, well, if all of creation is God playing, what if the birds are God singing? What if the trees are God dancing and just playing with color? What if the stars are God laughing? And maybe, have any of you seen that, that picture from the Hubble telescope of the birthplace of galaxies? Maybe that's God's Lego set. And the mountains are God's high jumps. I just started thinking of all these things. And the river we can think of as, just a reminder of God's good in our life, but also, what if the river is God running and the rapids are God skipping? So all these things are just, reminders to play. So play is divine in nature. And because we also teach in this teaching that because we are the embodiment of God, that all of us are an expression of God, then that means that play and joy are our birthrights, right? I mean, it doesn't matter how old you are, from the children here to the oldest people here to the oldest and youngest people who are going to watch this later, play and joy are our birthrights. And in honor of the Easter season and the Christ consciousness, I have a quote from the Bible, which is not on the slide. I'm just going to read it for you. But, "For you shall go out with joy and be led forth with peace. The mountains and the hills shall break forth before you into singing, and all the trees of the field shall clap their hands." So you shall go forth with joy, and all of nature is going to say, yeah, and clap for you. And some teachings, some religions have taught through the years that we should be serious, or that maybe our reward will be in the next life or something like that. But in this teaching, in the Science of Mind, we teach something a little different. Our founder, Ernest Holmes, wrote this. He said, "I believe in a religion of happiness and joy. There is too much depression and sorrow in the world. These things were never meant to be and have no real place in the world of reality. Religion should be like the morning sun shining forth its rays of light. It should be like the falling dew covering the land with fragrance and sweetness, like the cool of evening and repose of night. It should be a spontaneous song of joy and not a funeral dirge. From the fullness of a joyous heart, the mouth should speak." So in our teaching, that's what we come from, that basically this life is joy, so go out and play and enjoy it. I like this. I've decided I no longer want to be an adult. If you need me, I'll be on the beach building sandcastles. I bet Nancy gets that. Right? So let's do that. Let's build some sandcastles, because joy and play are our birthrights, just as manifestations of the divine. And in play, especially as adults who have been socialized a little bit away from play, play allows us to take off that mask that we wear in public, that mask of what's appropriate, that mask of what's acceptable, and to be more of our true selves. Play lets the inner child out. And no matter how old you get, that inner child is still there. I know mine is. She visits me regularly when I meditate. Sometimes she tells me to shape up. Sometimes she tells me to play. So when we play, we can let our inner child out. And we can be more of our true selves. So in one of my classes recently, it was a class on online learning. And I forget who said it, but at some point, one of the students, so we're all on Zoom, right? And one of the students just butted in and said, "Stop treating adults like adults." And I wrote it down. I loved that. Stop treating adults like adults, because we were learning about adult online learning. And so we were talking about ways to make adult online learning more fun. Well, stop treating adults like adults. So George Bernard Shaw said, "We don't stop playing because we get old because we stop playing." I think that's true. Right? We get old because we stop playing. So let your inner kid out. Those of you who have children and grandchildren, let them remind you of who you really are. And Schaefer said, "We are never more fully alive, more completely ourselves, or more deeply engrossed in anything than when we are at play." Have you ever watched kids when they're playing? Man, they are focused. They are in it, man. They are paying attention. They are in the moment. And we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. So our next point for today is play together, stay together. And you know, science has shown lots of benefits of playing together, especially in relationship and in family. And those of you some of you might be familiar with the 5 love languages. Well, one of them is quality time together. So playing with your spouse, your partner, your children, your grandchildren is a way you can express your love. Like, you're important to me. I'm going to spend time with you, and we're just going to have fun. So that's what that is. But play, when we play with those closest to us, it's also good for our emotional well-being. It's good problem solving. In fact, Einstein said play is the highest kind of research. So if you're stuck on a problem, set it aside and go out and play. Ride your bike, go skiing, I don't know, get on a skateboard, which I'm actually a little afraid of doing, but maybe I should try it. But you might find a solution to your problem. But research shows also the following benefits for relationships, for couples that play together. Fosters empathy, compassion, vulnerability, trust, intimacy, opens us up emotionally, It can loosen up those stressful situations that might exist in a relationship. Communication, compromise, and you just create good memories together. You create shared stories, shared history. And what I think is one of the best benefits or most powerful benefits is you're just present with each other. Because like I said, when you're playing, you have to pay attention. And you have to pay attention to the person you're involved in this play with. You know, I went to college as an undergrad at Utah State University. And of course, yeah, woohoo, one Utah, yeah. And while I was there, of course, I made a lot of Mormon friends. And I learned about family home evening. I believe it's Monday nights? Yes. They have this great tradition called family home evening, where Monday night, the entire family, the parents, the little babies, the kids, the oldest kids, in fact, some of my friends in college who were living in the dorms, if their families were close by, they went home on Monday evening. And they just spend the evening together. They might have a little teaching, a little spiritual, scriptural teaching or something like that. But a big part of the evening is just playing together. They might play a board game. They might go outside and do something. Some of my Mormon friends had families large enough they could put an entire baseball team on the field. That's not just a Mormon thing. My Irish Catholic family was big enough to constitute a baseball team as well. But they just played together. And I love that idea. And the bonds they share. And it's so beautiful to watch, you know, the older children playing with the younger children. And it's just, it's amazing. I love it. And for those in relationships, you know, we also often hear about date night. Well, reinvent date night. Do something you haven't done before. Try something new. And you can invigorate your relationship. So my younger brother, Patrick, and I, we grew up really, really close. I mean, he was only about a year and a half younger than me. You know, I was a total tomboy, so we played together all the time. I think we climbed every tree within a half mile of our house, including invading other people's property, and we didn't know them. Going to the park, swinging, the slides, the merry-go-round. I think both of us got whipped off that merry-go-round several times. And in the summer, one of our favorite things to do was we'd get up, practically inhale a bowl of cereal, throw a PB&J in a brown paper sack with some Matchbox cars, and get on our bikes and go down to the local forest preserve and just play in the dirt for hours with our little cars. Now, my mom had 7 children, and we were the 2 youngest, so by that time, she was just counting heads at breakfast and at dinner. And what happened in between, she may or maybe did not know, I don't know. But those years of playing together, it's true, you play together, you stay together, because Patrick and I now, we have different religious views, we have different political views, we have different views on just about everything. He has different views on how I should live my life, different views on how he should be living his life, and we share these views, but through it all, we are tight, we're close. We still seek counsel with each other. We still trust each other, no matter what. And I know my brother Patrick is always there for me, and he knows the same about me. So play together, stay together. The next topic we have today is so happy together in community. So we've already talked about some of the benefits of play, and many of those apply to community as well, such as a spiritual community, you know, such as trust, communication, compromise. A lot of those apply. And when I was in the Navy, I joined the Navy right after high school. And my first duty station after school was Adak, Alaska, which is in the Aleutian Islands. Not making a political statement here, but unlike Sarah Palin, if I got to the top of the mountain on Adak, I really could see Russia. So some of you remember the Sarah Palin. I don't think you could see Russia from Anchorage, but you almost could from Adak. Anyways, Adak, Alaska is this little rock in the middle of the Bering Sea, and I loved it there, even though the weather was terrible. But I think why I loved it so much is I had two friends there that we did everything together. I mean, it rains or snows almost every day on Adak, like truly 365 days it rains or snows. But if we weren't working, we were hiking, we were skiing, we were fishing, we were doing something. And the command there, the command I was stationed with, had a brilliant idea. They had a racquetball challenge ladder. And everybody, no matter your rank, and no matter your racquetball skill, could participate in this challenge ladder. So I was kind of a mid-level enlisted person at that time, kind of lower mid-level. I was an E5, for those of you who know what I'm talking about. And you could challenge the next person up on the ladder and if you won, you'd move up a spot and try to work to the top of the ladder. Now, what the beauty of this is the officers and the senior enlisted were on the same challenge ladder. So I sometimes found myself playing racquetball against people who were quite a bit higher in the chain of command from me. But it didn't matter. We were playing, we were bonding, the same rules applied, and if I beat the senior chief, I'm sorry, senior chief, man, but you're going down a notch and I'm going up a notch, and this is just racquetball, so don't take it personally. But it was great because it did build that trust, that camaraderie, and that teamship, or that team atmosphere. And I think that's probably one of the smartest things that command did to help bring us together and to trust each other no matter our ranks. So some of the value of playing together in community, in addition to the ones I've already mentioned, for just in general, you can bridge differences. You know, you ever see like pickup games of soccer or basketball or something? There's a school in my neighborhood, and every Sunday there's like pickup soccer there. And I love seeing it because you don't know who's going to show up. You don't know that person's political affiliation or religious affiliation. You don't know their immigration status. You don't know if they were born in the United States or came from somewhere else. You don't know their family history. You don't know their occupation, but they're playing together. And what I think is beautiful about those and like adult sports leagues is you build that friendship, you build that connection very often before you know those other things about the person. And then those other things don't matter. Because when you play together, you've discovered that you're kind of all in it together, right? So that's another thing that play together does, of course, is cooperation. No one can whistle a symphony. It takes a whole orchestra to play it. So when we play together, we build cooperation and we're working for a shared purpose, right? And communities can do this, including spiritual communities. We can build teams and the creativity that comes out of play. You know, Jean Houston said, at the height of laughter, the universe is flung into a kaleidoscope of new possibilities. So when you're playing, when you're laughing, you got your creative juices going, and a community can do that together. Be creative when they play together, when they spend quality time together. And of course, you build camaraderie. Again, even in a community, if you have lots of people playing, again, you're being present with each other. And there's a sense of belonging when you play together as a community, because everybody can participate. It doesn't matter, again, like I said with the pickup basketball or soccer, you belong when you play together as a community. Because you can, choose play activities that can adapt to different mobility levels, different ages, different, different abilities, and all of that. You can create a sense of belonging when you play as a community. One of the maybe great teachers on friendships was Eeyore, right? From Winnie the Pooh. God, I almost forgot the name of the books. Winnie the Pooh. At my age, I should know who Winnie the Pooh is. So anyways, Eeyore is a great teacher, and he said, after all, one can't complain. I have my friends, right? So when you're laughing and playing and you have your friends, it's really hard to complain. It's really hard to be negative. And he also said, we didn't know we were making memories. We just knew we were having fun. So this is what we can do together. So as far as some ideas for community play, you can have, and a spiritual community can do this, or you can do this in your family, you can do this in your neighborhood, whatever community you feel you belong to. You can do game night, and there's some great European or German style games that aren't about winning and losing, they're about creating something together, a shared goal. And they're very inclusive, because just about anybody can play these games. You could do movie watch parties, you can do arts and crafts as a community. There's so many things you can do. And those of you who know me know I'm going to put this in there. Community play is an opportunity to work on your diversity, equity, and inclusion and belonging, your DEIB. Because you can use it as a way to experience diverse activities. I mean, in the Denver metro area, you can find, restaurants from just about any type. There's community theater. You can go to different theaters and experience different theatrical productions from diverse productions, diverse actors, diverse producers, or whatever they are. You can, like I said, play inclusive games, movie watch parties that, watch a movie about a culture you don't know anything about, or from a producer who maybe you haven't heard of before. Go to different restaurants, like I said. Playing together as a community can be a great way to build this sense of belonging and work on that diversity, equity, and inclusion. You can include, and that doesn't mean just race or ethnic background or nationality. That also means paying some attention to the age appropriateness of the activity and paying attention to the economic circumstances of some of the participants. Make sure some of the activities are more approachable for some people. But all of these things can be done. So, play. You can, it's divine, it's your birthright. Play together, stay together, and so happy together in community. So my invitation for you in this coming week is to find a way to play, either by yourself, preferably with somebody else. Maybe invite somebody to do a fun activity with you that you would like to get to know better. It's a great icebreaker. Maybe start thinking about something you can do in community, whether it's here with New Dawn or in your neighborhood. But my invitation to you is to just play and to invite somebody to join you. My challenge to myself is around playing with others is I'm an avid bicyclist, and for a couple years I rode with a bicycling club because I quit riding with them because I didn't get to do it my way. So I have to work on compromise. Like, they always wanted, the rides were fine, the rides were great, and they had green, blue, and black level rides, so I could find a level ride that was good for me. But they wanted to start too late, or this or that, so I quit. So my challenge to myself is to find a bicycling club to ride with this summer, and learn a little bit about compromise in play. So that's my invitation for you. So let's pray a bit. together. Practitioners, if you would like to join me, thank you so much. And I'm half tempted to dance this prayer, but you won't hear it, so I'll say it. As I breathe in this stillness, this calmness, I'm reminded that, yes, I breathe, but at the same time, I am being breathed by that one creator, that one source, that one life that has created all. The only thing that ever has been, is now, ever will be. That one creator that in every second is saying, what can I do next? This is fun. I want to do more. So that one creator that is always creating from itself, as me, as every person here in this room, as every person who might hear this message later, all of us part of Spirit's divine play, knowing that joy is our birthright, that nothing can take that birthright from us. And I know today and each day forward that we express our joy and we share it with our loved ones, our family, we share it with our community. We maybe use it as an icebreaker to build a new relationship with somebody we wanted to get to know, to make another connection. That's what joy and play can do for us. And it lets us be ourselves. And so I know that each person, and myself included, we look for those opportunities to express more of our unique joy as each of us, as that unique expression of the divine, right here and right now, here to spread our joy, and we do so gratefully. So it is with gratitude for all of this, and with gratitude for everyone here today and everybody listening online, that I release these words into God's law that is always backed by love, empowered by love. I simply let it go and let it be, and so it is.
Of course, I had to do this song, you know that. Imagine me and you, I do. I think about you day and night. It's only right to think about Spirit's love and hold it tight. So happy together. If I should call you up, invest a dime, and you say you appreciate these are mine, imagine how the world would be so very fine, so happy together. I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life. When you're with me, Spirit, the skies will be blue for all my life. Me and you and me, no matter how they toss the dice, it had to be. The only one for me is you and me, so happy together. I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life. When you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue for all my life. Me and you and me, no matter how they toss the dice, it had to be. We are one, it's me and you and me, so happy together. Oh, ba 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 ba. Me and you and me, no matter how they toss the dice, it had to be. We are one, it's you and me, so happy together, so happy together. How is the weather? So happy together. We're happy together. So happy together. Happy together. So happy together.
Hello, I'm Reverend Jen Wild, Senior Minister for New Dawn Center for Spiritual Living. New Dawn Center is a global community, and we welcome all people, all paths, all ways of thinking, all philosophies. So know that you are welcome here, and thank you for joining our online community.